Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Webtoon Wave podcast. I'm Audrey, and this week I'm excited to introduce Deya Muniz and Emily Erdos, the creators of Blades of Furry on Webtoon. Now, I hadn't read Blades of Furry up until pretty recently, and I have to say it's actually become one of my favorite comics on Webtoon, which says a lot because I've read a lot. Recently, Deya and Emily were able to publish Blades of Furry into a book, and it's amazing. First of all, look how thick this book is. It's so thick. Now, if you haven't read Blades of Furry, it is about Emil, who is a rookie battle ice skater, and he's competing in the championships for the first time. But things kind of go south when he gets paired up to battle his idol and the best skater in the world, Radu. But during the battle, Emil actually learns a big secret about Radu that could threaten his reputation and destroy his career. And of course, sparks start to fly. This comic is full of romance and comedy and vampires, which are a combination of things that I just absolutely love. And the book also comes with a bonus side story. And if you're fans of Sal and Hannah, then you're gonna want to get the book. So when I went to my local bookstore to get Blades of Furry, I actually had the surprise of also finding Deya's other book, The Princess and the Grilled Cheese Sandwich. Now, I first learned about this book during my interview with them, and I have to say, this book is near and dear to my heart now. I've read it, and it is beautiful, it's funny, there's plenty of fluffy moments. I mean, look at how beautiful this art is. Like, Deya, incredibly talented. I love this story. It has all of the things that I just absolutely love in a comic, and to be honest, I was craving a grilled cheese after I read it the first time. The story of The Princess and the Grilled Cheese Sandwich follows Lady Camembert, who just kind of wants to live her life how she wants, but the law of the land states that family fortunes cannot be passed down to women. So what does she do? She disguises herself as a man and goes to a capital city in the kingdom of Fromage and starts over as Count Camembert. But she has a hard time keeping a low profile because she meets the beautiful Princess Brie. They're drawn to each other, they can't resist each other, and it starts to threaten her secret. So if you like Pride and Prejudice and shoujo manga, shoujo anime, you're gonna love this book. So if you want your own copy of these books, then you can go to www.demily.shop, or you can also visit your local bookstore. So without further ado, let's dive into the interview with Emily and Deya. Hi Emily, hi Deya, welcome to the podcast.
Hi. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Of course, thank you so much for agreeing to come on. I'm so excited to talk about Blades of Furry with you and your printed book. I can't wait to get into it.
So excited.
Peep the book. Okay, so for our listeners who aren't familiar with you or with your comic, just give us an introduction to you guys and like how this all came to be. How did you become webcomic creators?
Well, it's kind of a long story, but I started making these like comic strips to avoid my homework back in and they kind of popped off a little bit, and that's how I found Webtoon. Somebody that was making like little comic strips. This was like Webtoon in its infancy, where it was mostly comic strips, not like story driven like long.
Yeah.
It wasn't that yet, not in the US. It was comic strips. So I started posting on Webtoon, and it started like picking up, and then that comic strip series became a Webtoons original. And then I was like, yo, I'm gonna get a master's degree, and I came to the US to get a master's degree, and that's where I met
me.
Yes.
And then we both went to grad school together. My undergrad was actually in animation, and I thought I wanted.
Wow.
But I learned my junior year of undergrad that I actually hated animating. And one of the things that were pretty. So after that, I applied for grad school, and we both came in during the same quarter at SCAD.
You guys went to SCAD too. Oh wow.
We're both scaddies, and we had every class together. We were attached to the hip like immediately.
Yeah. We started doing some projects together, like at SCAD. We kind of figured out like we work well together. Also, we're in love.
So cute.
And so it just kind of worked out that I originally went to their comic program to do concept design. But then I learned from that program, I really like comics. I love this version of storytelling. I can like make the pictures really pretty. It just fit with what I wanted to do. And we both made pretty good pitches in grad school. And we both I had a book deal before I graduated, and then Dea got one like right after with Princess and the Grilled Cheese Sandwich. And then
it also happened that we had a class and we made friends with one person who then became an editor at Webtoon. Not only did I already know people at Webtoon from having been like an original with like the comic strip before I came to the US, but also this like classmate of ours was like, we want you back. Like, pitch me some ideas and stuff. So like as we were graduating, I was going through pitch ideas with them.
Yeah, so you being at, it was Savannah College of Art and Design, right? That's the whole. So being there, like, I was talking to another creator who also attended, and it's kind of interesting. Like, you get the knowledge of how to like pitch the concept, in your classes, which I think is really beneficial for you guys, especially like, oh yeah, we want to pitch a series to Webtoon. Well, we already have the know-how on like how to do it, so that's actually really nice that they do that for you there.
It was really handy because I feel like, especially with their time working at Webtoon, they're very hands off with us because I feel like they're like, oh, they know what they're doing. And I'm like, yeah, we know what to do. We know how like the storytelling and the paneling and the layouts.
Because I know that they offer like resources and little like guides and stuff for like, hey, this is like what you need to do to get your comic to like look right, read right, etc., etc. We didn't really need any of that.
So it's
really you're like, oh, we got this.
Like perfect. I have a degree in comics, so it's like
master's degree in comics
in haha jokes.
Crazy. So you guys had sent in just several pitches to Webtoon.
I did, yes. I sent even the pitch for Princess and the Grilled Cheese Sandwich. I'm moving my hand too much.
No, you just keep.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine.
Yeah,
I'm shy.
You're good. You're good.
But I even sent the pitch for the Princess and the Grilled Cheese Sandwich, which Webtoon immediately was like, this is a pitch for a graphic novel. And I was like,
oh, yeah.
Which is what it ended up being. But I was sending this other pitch, and it wasn't working. Like, I kept like going back and forth, and like they were like, what's this special thing about this story? And then I was so tired and exhausted and sad at the time, and I was like, listen, there's the thing that I did for my thesis, and it's gay furry figure skating vampire fighting romance. And they were like,
yo,
that one, because this editor's sister was like a fursuit maker. So this editor got to Webtoon being like, listen, they're furries and they're gay, but hear me out.
Hear me out.
Everyone to think Radu is hot.
Yeah.
Be like, yes, he's beautiful.
Yes. So that's how that came to be.
Wow. Yeah. So I what I love about Blades of Furry is that it's so unique in like the originals lineup. We can talk about it more, but I'm just like, I absolutely love it. And I slept on it for way too long. I'm really kicking myself for sleeping on it. But yeah, in my mind, I was like, it's like a mix, not like a true mix, but like it reminds me of a mix of like Beastars and Yuri on Ice is the vibes that I get from it.
Yeah, and that's also an easy way to kind of like pitch it to people to read it. It's like, listen, you like Yuri on Ice, you're probably gonna like this. It's not like an AU or anything like it's own thing, but if you like both of those,
you'll probably
you'll be good.
Yeah, and the whole like vampire aspect was actually kind of a surprise to me because I know it was kind of mentioned in like the first couple episodes or first episode.
Yeah,
like, oh haha, that's funny, but it actually became an integral part of the story, which I thought was really interesting because I'm like, okay, we got these anthropomorphic animal characters like furries or whatever you want to call them, and then we have ice skating, and then the whole vampire thing was like, ooh, this is a delicious surprise. Like, I love vampires.
I love vampires too.
Yeah, we're big on vampires too, both are. So it just kind of fit really well, and we really like using it for people to like relate to their characters with their own struggles with like queerness, being transgender, just like not fitting into like society's like norms, I guess.
Having to hide a part of yourself in order to be able to
we wanted to treat the vampirism in a different way than other media has, which was it's interesting to navigate that in our comic, but it's also really fun. And it seems like the fans really, really resonate, because we'll get like comments from people being like, I really resonate with Redu's backstory, or I'm like really on par with like Emile, who was like kind of judgmental at first, but then is like, oh my God, I've been such an asshole this entire time. It's really nice. We like it.
Yeah, I really love that you have those themes, like outside of like the comedy and like the romance and the drama. Like I love that you have those themes in it as well. So for our listeners, do you have like an elevator pitch that you could tell our listeners of what Blades of Furry is about?
I mean, the elevator pitch is basically just listing all of the things, because it's vampire, furries, figure skating, but it's figure skating battles.
Yes.
And they're gay. So it's that. But
it's the most wonderful combo.
The story itself, it starts when like Emile, who's the main character, gets matched up with the former champion, and he's a rookie, and he's like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. And then he finds out during the match that this champion is a vampire.
And vampires are not allowed in the GBSF.
Yeah, which is the championship thing. And so the vampire's like, please don't tell anyone my secret, please don't tell anyone. And Emile's like, I mean, you're hot, and also a little bit my eye. Also, you're hot, so okay.
And sort of start like a really sweet friendship and get to know each other. And like from the outside, you see Redu, you get introduced to him as like this big, like cocky, he's like, I'm a champion, I know what I'm doing. But he's actually like a big softie, and like and he's very sweet with Emile, and he's like gentle. So it kind of flips that on its head a bit.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, with Redu in particular, I love that, you know, our first introduction to him is, oh, he's very cocky. And, oh my God, he's a vampire? Oh, geez. And then he comes to Emile after the match, and he's just so emotional. He's like, please don't tell anybody. Like, I'm just like, okay. So he's not a total asshole. He's weird.
No, he's such a sweetie.
Yes, I absolutely love that. I love how distinctive the characters are, and like, it's such a, like, again, this is why I'm mad at myself for not reading it sooner, when I have all the episodes I want to binge. But yeah, I just absolutely love what you guys have put into the story and into the characters. Like, it just makes me smile. It's become kind of a comfort read for me too.
Makes me so happy. Thank you.
Okay, so I do want to talk more about the process of creating Blades of Furry. So you had pitched the idea to them, and Webtoon was like, yes, we love this idea. So what was the process like of creating the story, and what were both of your roles in that process?
So when it came to doing like the official pitch, to get like put together a little pitch packet for then this editor to present to Webtoon, that's when I roped in to the process. I had prepared like the materials on my own, so it was kind of like, oh, this is what it's gonna look like, except it's like not, because I'm just gonna have the final hand. But that's she came in, and the way that we divided everything is that I usually write everything with her feedback. I've always bounced ideas off of her no matter what. So but then I wrote the script, like breaking it down into panels and whatnot, which was a learning process. It was the first time I was actually like scripting something like that. So I do that, and then I go up to whatever you want to call it, like pencils, rough sketches, something like that, with full lettering, and the sketches, and then
I take it to inks and colors and make it sparkly and pretty. And so it's been an interesting combination of our styles.
Yeah.
Because Deya is like killer at anatomy. I've learned so much just from inking her sketches. It's been insane. And then developing the way I color and ink Blades has like, I love it dearly. It's like my favorite thing to do is ink sketches and then bring them to life. So it's really like, I feel like it's pretty half and half on the workload, because she'll be doing that and I'll be like finishing the episode prior, and then we can just keep going. It's like a good sort of like chugga choo choo situation.
The character designs, even because like once we decided like, okay, we're both gonna be in it, I had already drawn them. I drew them because the idea came up for my pitch for my storyboard for my thesis. Yes, it was originally a storyboard for my thesis. That is actually available on the Patreon.
Yes.
Like, it's way
okay.
One of the first things we ever posted in our Patreon.
That's when Emil didn't have antlers. It's like, I'm like, we're giving him antlers. He's a deer.
Basically what happens, like, okay, cool, you're going to be in it. So then she drew the boys, and then I loved a lot of, like, what you did when you did that, like, first drawing. So then I drew them again, and we kept just kind of, like, bouncing back and forth until we reached the style that then changed within 15 episodes.
Yeah, it happens. Originally, they didn't really have necks or jaw lines.
I don't know what I was thinking.
Yeah, but
people were commenting, like, why do they look like tampons?
They're like tubes. Emil was very tube-like.
Originally, I was all like, no, but it makes sense because this is it. But then she started doing this thing with the inks where, like, you would kind of, like, add a little bit more jawline, and I was like, that's and I wasn't gonna, like, limit myself and be like, yeah, I'll keep drawing it like this because it's how it has to be. I was like, no. If I think the jaws look better, like, the way she was doing them, then I'm gonna buy into that, and that's how it's gonna be.
And when a new character comes in, she'll have it roughed, and then, like, I'll go through and, like, add the little bits and details. And then we're like, oh, this is how we're drawing this character now. Like, it happened with Mimi and Hana and all these characters.
Sal.
All these characters that were supposed
to... little, like, radiant situation.
Oh, I did, yeah, with the little speckles.
Yeah.
So, it's really a really, like, happy union between both me and Deya. And I think working together is, like, our favorite thing of working because we both have, like, our own individual styles. We sketch our own, of course, but I think for both of us, we really enjoy working together. And for me, that's my, like, seeing our completed vision together is, like, my favorite thing in the world. So
that's really cute.
It's my favorite. Cool. It's always great when, like, because I also like crop the episodes for upload, so she will send me the finished files and I'll just be like, oh my god, it's so pretty. It's cool.
You're, like, sitting next to each other, like, oh my
gosh. Another really good part of the process, because, like, I'll do the roughs and everything, and then I will send her the episode. So that's the first time she'll be, like, reading the episode. And, like, I measure, because I basically write it being like, okay, she's gonna react here, and then when I hit those reactions, I'm like, yes, the colors,
like with the sad scenes, and you just look over them like, this is,
oh my gosh,
you love it.
Oh, that's great. Well, I'm so glad it worked out for you both to, like, work on it and that it goes so well. That's just amazing.
Yeah.
And most, like, well, not most, but, like, some of the duos that I've interviewed, or they haven't come out yet, but it's like they're a writer and an artist duo. So the fact that you both are, like, handling the artistic side of the production process is really interesting to me. And I'm just like, because I'm a one-woman team, right? Like, I just do my own comic, but, like, do you feel like as a duo it just definitely, like, it lightens the load on you both in that sense?
Because we have a lot of friends who are, like, one-man shows, and they'll have assistants and everything, and, like, we haven't needed that yet. While it would be nice, and, like, I do want to eventually hire an assistant or two, it definitely lightens the load and makes it, like, the collaboration almost feels like since we have, like, two sets of hands, it doesn't feel like I'm on my own as much as, like, when we both work on, like, when we worked on our separate, like, books. I just like the process working with Deya a lot more than working on my own for a comic. It's definitely lightened the load, especially since we're both on the artistic aspects and the writing aspect.
Yeah, just recently, because I've been working on, like, writing season 2, and it's been hard. Because season 1 already came from, like, a pre-existing thing. Like, technically the story was in my head for, like, a year before we actually started writing it. But season 2 is not the case. I've been having a rough time. Like, a couple weeks ago or so, I sat you down and I was like, help. I started basically describing all the things that I wanted to happen. She was like, that's stupid. And I was like, all right, we're gonna cut that, we're gonna cut this. And it's like, no, but it's great. It was
don't say that's stupid. I'm like, this isn't working. It needs to be this.
I'm pretty sure you said that's stupid at least once. But that's fine. You said it with love.
Okay.
And it was stupid. I would rather be told that I'm making bad decisions than like just keep going that direction, you know?
That's true. Like it's good that you can get feedback on it and be like, okay, yeah, you got a point.
Also, like at this point, our cast is so large.
Oh, so large. It was not. We did not mean it to be that way. Mm-hmm. Like all the characters, like Jakob was just supposed to be just like a rectangle.
When we pitched it, we had Radu, Emil, Jakob Kochi, Stu, and Vlad.
That was it.
That's it. That was the entire cast. So like Mimi, Hannah, everything was added afterwards.
And it's been interesting because everybody sees Sal and Hannah as the B couple. They're technically actually the C couple. Because we tease a lot in the Patreon, but Mimi and Vlad, they're gonna get together.
They were when we thought of Mimi first.
Yes,
Mimi was the first one after like the main. So we were like, oh, Mimi to be with the, because then we get we have a small and a tall, right? Which we thought, hey, like how BL couples can be. It's like we got the tiny and we got the big. And wouldn't it be funny if B couple, instead of doing like, oh, the B couple is gonna be like same two guys the same size. What if the B couple was even smaller and even taller? So that's like how that came to be. And that
amazing.
We were working on that episode, I don't know, like 5 at that point, and we decided that was going to happen. But like we needed to go through the entire year before we could actually get to the thing. And then Sal and Hannah happened in the middle of that.
I remember Hannah was just supposed to be Mimi's friend. I was just kind of there. Or Hannah, sorry.
Yeah.
And she drew Hannah, and then I like inked and colored Hannah, and you're like, oh.
This is a problem. Hannah. I love my son too much. I'm gonna start adding him where he wasn't supposed to be because I just love him so much. And then we were like, well, he's gonna be more involved.
It's like these characters like took a hold of like the steering wheel, like a word because season 1 was only supposed to be 65 episodes.
It was originally supposed to be 65 episodes, and we have like at one point I had to do like kind of a major like overhaul of what I had planned and everything to be like we need these things to breathe because we need to hit these points because the points were coming up, like the plot points were coming up as we were already publishing, and I'm trying to get ahead of that kind of stuff for season 2. I want to write like pretty far ahead. Just so we're not like taken by surprise by something like that. And like season 2 will include the whole cast of season 1 plus a bunch of other people,
plus some really exciting new
characters. My god.
So I'm like trying to keep track of everyone and what everybody's doing and give everyone screen time, and it's so stressful.
Oh my god.
We love it. It's
crazy.
We love it. And chaotic. But
it's fun.
We love all our meow meows, so
we just have so many.
That's incredible. I'm one of those people, I love character-driven stories, and but I could not imagine juggling a cast as large as that. I'm like, the characters, like coming up with the character designs, coming up with each character individually and like how they influence the plot and how they interact with the other characters, like, is beyond my brain. And like I have a relatively good sized cast, I feel like, but just so props to you guys for balancing that and figuring it out.
Like I feel like I kind of understand like George R.R. Martin that hasn't like put out like Game of Thrones books. I'm like, I don't know how he keeps track of that because I'm doing like silly goofy furries skating around with no like giant political movements and like none of that, and I have to have so many different Google Docs. At one point I did an Excel spreadsheet to try to keep track of like who already had their matches and who hadn't had matches yet, and then that went kaput because I had to change everything again, and I have like a notebook where I just like physically write random little notes, and I have notes on my phone. It's hard.
Yeah, keeping track. Oh my gosh. I could not imagine I mean, oh yeah. Yeah. So yeah, definitely props to you for juggling
And then the
it.
fans are like, hey, what's so-and-so's like legal full name and height? And I'm like, I barely came up with so-and-so, let alone those kinds of details.
It's like, you think I write out every single exact detail for every single character? No.
We don't even do
turnarounds.
We don't do turnarounds, character shit. We often, the first time we draw a character is the first time they show up in the comic.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So people are like, oh, do you have character designs for me to reference? Like, literally no. Absolutely not.
Just go to the comic. It's
go to the comic. Oh, you want to see how I first drew Mimi? It's literally in episode 1 the first time I drew Mimi. That's
see, I wouldn't even like assume that. I would assume that like you guys spent a lot of time developing the character designs and like figuring them out because they look so good.
Emil and Radu were the ones we focus on the most, but I remember Mimi specifically. Dale was working on it and was like, Emil needs a friend. What? Give me an animal. I'm like, Fennec Fox. She's like, great. And I'm like, we should name them Mimi because big ears. And we're like,
yes.
All right. That's how Mimi
like,
came to be.
Mimi should have a brother. What kind of? And I was like, oh, should it be a red fox? And then Em was like, there's a type of fox called the bat-eared fox. And I was like, what? That was it. Very often, even for like the rivals that they'll have, because like they have so many matchups against like random rivals, I'll just be like, tell me an animal.
Yeah.
That's how it comes up with it.
Alpaca.
He's like alpaca. Or sometimes we did like, our editor had rats, so we're like, all right, we're gonna include one of your rats. Sal was based off of a friend's greyhound.
Oh wow.
So like it'll be stuff like
Sally,
that.
Yeah,
it'll be stuff like that.
That's incredible. I'm really impressed with you guys to be able to like pull that off, because I'm such a planner. I feel like I have to know everything about all of my characters and like how they influence the plot and like how they react to things and like how they interact with each other. And so it's really impressive that you kind of just like, how about this? Okay, cool. And then just go for it. It's great.
Worked out so far.
Yeah.
Definitely. So what do you guys feel like is the hardest part of being Webtoon creators?
For me, it was learning how to take the hate comments, definitely. Because I think that's a big difference between print and web-based comics, is because the print-based, you're kind of separated from it. Your audience isn't always online, some aren't. But when it's publishing weekly or frequently on the internet, and you get the comments right there, and like, most of the comments are so sweet. We really love our fans. We're very lucky to have such a like sweet fan base. But at the beginning, especially with like, when it came out, we got like the homophobic comments, the anti-furry comments, and then people who will be like, wait, Emil's not a girl? And a lot of that, so a lot of, like, it was mostly the homophobic comments that get to me, because me and Day are obviously very queer and we're in a marriage, and that would be hard. But I've definitely grown a really thick skin over the years, which I think is really important if you're going to be printing or publishing comics online, is to like learn how to like either ignore them or like recognize that this isn't the majority of people, it's just the minority. For me, that's the hardest part about being a Webtoon creator.
What about you, Dea?
The first thing that came to mind was just the lack of health insurance.
I mean,
it's more stuff like that. It's like it's the insecurity of it all. Like at this point we're used to, but we always joke that we make surprise money at surprise time.
Yes.
People have monthly paychecks and cute things like that. It's like, oh, I will get paid next week, so we can do it next week. And I'm like, I don't know. Like, if I deliver something, then I will get paid, and I'll know that.
Right.
I don't know. What am I gonna get? I don't know. How much are you gonna get paid next month? I don't know.
I don't know. It varies. There's several factors with you guys for sure about like pay and stuff, but yeah, I mean, both of those points I can, the unpredictability, the instability, and then like just negative feedback. But yeah, I mean, when I go through the comments, it's not the majority that I see. It's kind of rare to see somebody being really hateful. But
it's the thing. It's like the negative ones really stick out, and then they stick in your brain.
Yeah.
So
it has gotten easier over the years, especially when like you have a fan base as sweet as ours, and they've kind of like, I know a lot of our fans are kind of protective of both the story and us as creators. So if they see someone being a jerk, they'll go in and be like, "Hey,
don't."
Yeah.
Which is nice to like
we've taken long and kind of frequent hiatuses, and we would get mean comments of people like, "Oh my god," like again, and it would be funny also because we would get those on the free episodes.
Yeah,
it was never on the people that were fast passing never complained. The people on the free episodes were like, "Oh, I'm gonna drop this comic because you're taking another break," and so people are like, "Hey, they have lives and issues and other things to do, so like chill out, bro. You're reading this for free."
Exactly.
I know recently I think a lot more creators are being a lot more mindful of their health and like needing to take breaks and hiatuses when needed, because our health is really important. It's what keeps us going.
If you mess up your wrist, what are you gonna do?
Right.
Like I had broken my wrist, so that was part of the reason our first hiatus was so long, because I drawing wrist.
I've had to take a number of breaks that I'm like, my wrist is hurting. I can't, like, I should not like power through that. That is not
like,
a good idea.
Ellie, our dog, got diagnosed with like really aggressive cancer, so we had to take time off to like really, because we were going to the she's fine now.
She's great.
She's fine. Oh, good.
We were going to the specialty hospital every day for I don't know how many weeks, but it's like an hour drive there, an hour drive back. While we were there, she's there for like 3 hours to get her radiation, and later became chemo. So like, I think
life happens.
Yeah,
and we take breaks because like we can't be uploading, like making a comic weekly is so much work. A lot of people that like don't draw have this thought that like how bad could it be? Like a panel takes you what, 10 minutes? It's not. It's never. No.
Unless you're a Tanya.
But like, yeah, and like seriously, the weekly upload schedule, it's never like, nobody is meant to be releasing that much.
That's why we have buffer.
Like usually if you think about most comic mediums that do release weekly, it's either a team, they have assistants, or they have like a long backlog buffer to be releasing it weekly. I don't know, people just need to be patient. These things happen. Even like by my favorite manga growing up, they would have like these hiatuses because like the author literally had to get wrist surgery.
But
it's messed up their wrist.
But most commenters are very sweet and very understanding, which is really nice in this day and age.
Yeah, so it definitely helps. I mean, you know, because I mean, I've had my fair share of hate comments, and it's hard to try not to focus on them too much and try to focus more on the positive comments and feedback that you do get, because that's way more important than the negative comment, right? But yeah, it's like for anybody listening who wants to be a webtoon creator or is a webtoon creator and you get hate comments, and just know, like, here's what I told myself in the beginning was, unless, and it took me a while to like for this to like sink in, but I was like, unless they are giving me actual constructive feedback on what I can do to actually improve in like our story or whatever, I'm not going to give their words any weight.
Yeah, that's a really good way to put that.
Yeah. If people are like, oh, this story sucks, or man, your art sucks, I'm like, art is subjective.
Yeah.
Stories are subjective. Like, you can't please everybody, right?
Yeah.
But it does take a while to get to that point.
We've also, like, it happened a little bit to us, and we've seen it happen to other webtoon creators, where people start commenting things like, I hate that this happened because that represents this and this and that, and this is a bad representation. And it's like, you're commenting on an episode. The story is not over. The arc is not over. But like, you're commenting on, I don't know, a character being mean or rude or whatever. They haven't gotten to their destination point yet.
which is very unique to uploading a story weekly and not having like the season done, you know. So
it's like, oh my god, you're romanticizing this and that. And it's like, no, we just haven't gotten to the end point of like we haven't gotten to the part where we go, this is bad, you know?
Right. I think this is just kind of commentary on the general Webtoon audience. Is a lot of them are like the target demographic of Webtoon is like younger girls or teenagers age 13 up. Like that's their main demographic, and they're probably just really used to having information really quickly, and so they have judgments on something that hasn't been fully concluded or resolved in a story.
That is something that I think is good to always tell yourself about comments. Right. It's like, this is probably a 13-year-old. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
What were you thinking when you were 13 years old? Yeah. Don't worry about it. When you go, oh my god, they don't see me as people. They don't, because they're 13 years old.
Mm-hmm.
They just
like, I'm just reading a comic and they don't. And it's not to say that they can't be empathetic, but like, again, they're young.
Yeah, of course. A 13-year-old can be very empathetic, but like, there is actually like, you know, I don't even know how to explain it. There's like they don't know the reality of like working on a thing like that.
Yeah. They're just used to consuming whatever content, like, you know, especially if they're in that demographic, it's like, oh, they're on TikTok, they're on Instagram, quick short videos, are used to getting information really quickly.
They'll assume that like it's made by an adult that knows what they're doing and is probably rich, you know, something like that. Mm-hmm. I know that even when I was doing the little comic strips, which again was something that I was doing to avoid homework in my bedroom. And I was making, at the time in the beginning, I was making literally no money. I got comments like, oh my god, why can't you get your agent to do it? I'm like, agent?
What are you talking about?
Bestie, it's just me here. You know, we didn't get an agent till deep into like working on Blades of Furry.
Yeah. Yeah, I think some people have that perception of Canvas creators. I think some of them just don't realize that originals and Canvas are different in terms of like, are you getting paid or not to make it? And like, you know, originals, you guys have editors and you have like, you know, you have more than just yourselves reviewing the content. And, you know, with us Canvas artists, we're independent. We just do this shit for fun. And some of us like get really good money because they like have Patreon and make money that way and make a living off of it. But most cases, no, it's a hobby. We're doing it for fun. And I think some people probably have that misconception. And so they give the same treatment to Canvas creators that they do with originals. Or it's like the audiences are just very different, right? So
it even goes both ways, because they'll get like, can you upload twice a week?
No. That's not in my contract.
Yeah, it's that our upload is scheduled. It's not.
Yep, it's like set in stone. It's literally in a contract, set in stone. Yeah, and I think some people don't realize that you guys are limited with what you can do. Like us Canvas artists, we can post whatever the hell we want, but you guys are really limited. Like it's not like you can post an announcement on your Webtoon. It's like, oh, you can do that on your creator profile, but your Webtoon, it's like episodes only, and then like maybe Q&As.
Yeah.
If your editor's like chore, right?
You have to get like approval from people. It's just how contract works, you know?
Right.
And now that we're both in the print world and the web world, like it's just kind of how it is, you know?
Yeah. So what is it like working with your guys' editor? Like how has that been for you?
On Webtoon?
Yeah.
We've had how many editors on Blades?
It's more because so for our editors we've all working with all of our editors, but they're pretty, because the editors at Webtoon are really overworked.
Yeah.
So our editors have always been pretty hands off, except probably for our first editor, but
right.
And it's fine because we know where we're going with the story, so that doesn't affect us negatively really at all. But they're there to make sure things go right on upload days, and we have like a way to communicate with Webtoon for things.
Yeah, they kind of mostly for us became like a middleman between us and Webtoon, and like we, if we want a banner, if we
need to take like a hiatus, we like go to our editor and be like, hey, we're going to be on a hiatus from here to here. Just let the upload team know that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because several of the like originals creators that I've interviewed, it's kind of a rare occurrence for them to have just one editor throughout their like history of uploading to Webtoon. But a lot of them have multiple.
So.
Oh, you've had 5?
Yeah.
Wow.
And we've been like editorless for like months at a time sometimes.
Yeah. Dang.
I think we had at least like 1 month where we were editorless and like episodes were going up. There was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. I bet that can make things pretty difficult in some ways.
I think at that point we were used to the turnover, so we're like, okay. The first time we had to switch an editor, I was like, what are we gonna do? We need to we gotta tell a story to them. They gotta be like we gotta like integrate them with our characters. But no, it's very chill now. We're used to it. Also less panicky about when things change. So
basically I send the roughs, so like when I'm done with my part of the episode, I send it to the editor. The level of notes that we usually get is like, hey, maybe like put this panel after that for timing, or like, hey, put a little bit of space here. Hey, can you put one more panel here just like for a beat? It's like really little things like that and like grammar corrections, and then they don't see the episode till it's done.
Yeah, but I do prefer it that way.
Yeah,
to be honest, because me and Day are pretty good on our own, so we don't super the extra input.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's good that you guys can just kind of do it on your own, and you don't need, like, I don't know. Like, I would assume that in some cases somebody would prefer their editor or editors to be more involved.
Oh, I know for
cases, like, like, oh, I prefer if they're more hands off. So I guess it just depends on the situation and like the relationship.
Because I know a lot of my like there's an amount of mutuals we have that I really like when the editor gives them a lot of feedback. Yeah. And there's back and forth there. But I think because me and Day are a duo, we can back and forth with each other. Yeah. The story, which helps with like kind of the role, a portion for being an editor. So it's kind of like we're kind of editors to each other a little bit.
Yeah.
We can like just get into like the print book and like talk about that. So you guys printed Blades of Furry, like the first season. So tell me about that process. Like, what was that like? How did you find the publisher to work with? Like, what was the process?
So agent actually reached out to us and was like, hey, I have a publisher who's interested in printing Blades of Furry. And so from there, we realized there were more publishers who were interested in publishing Blades of Furry. So we got some. And so we went with Deya's publisher for Princess and the Grilled Cheese Sandwich, Little Brown. So we love our agent. I mean, our editor there.
We also love our agent.
We also love our agent.
Yeah.
She's great. But it was really exciting to like, do the cover art and like do everything and seeing it go from scroll format to panel page format was really exciting. And most of the time was spent negotiating the contract and all that, and then like kind of waiting for the panel layouts to be done, and then like coming up with like the bonus material, the extra story we had was really cool. It's just really exciting. And so the first volume is actually just episodes 1 through 36, and book 2
should be the rest of season 1.
We'll see.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Like this is all we can fit in this book because this book is
500 something.
My God.
7 pages, I think.
It's a thick, heavy book.
Wow. Amazing.
You could like whack somebody on the head with this thing.
Yeah. So, yeah, our editor at Little Brown, her kid really loves Blades of Furry, so that was pretty cool.
Cute.
And yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, you're good. I was saying that's really cute.
Yeah.
Like we sent her a little goodie bag with some stuff.
Yeah,
so that's really cool. Just to like, that our editor's kid really likes it. It's really sweet.
But the reformatting, like, we did not want to do it because we knew it was going to be kind of a nightmare.
And I know most webtoons with the reformatting, their publishers handle it.
Yeah.
So like it was difficult for this time, and Deya did have to spend like a month fixing the layouts, but that shouldn't be an issue with book 2.
Yeah, which is great. But the problem is for us, and I think for a majority of webtoons, is like you start publishing on Webtoon not expecting it to go to print. I know that there are some creators that do plan ahead for print, and I know that there are some like, Korean creators that for print,
but we did not.
We did not do that because also, in my opinion, if you do that, you're gonna like limit yourself a lot in like what you're able to do with scroll.
Yeah.
And like I didn't want to do that. I wanted to like take advantage of it, and then we had to fit it into print format because each format has. Why is it okay?
I don't know why it's doing that. I don't know how to turn it off.
Each format has its limitations, and then trying to fit into like both sets of limitations, I think, would be like way too much in the brain for me because like with scroll, the person scrolling can kind of create their own pace for reading. You as the creator, the amount of space you put between the panels can do that. Can change or kind of dictate the pace at which somebody's reading. So if you have like a reveal, you can easily, space it out as a reveal. But for a physical book, if you have a reveal, you want it to be on a page turn. So you have to consider page turns. You have to consider if you want to do like a splash page that's like going to go over 2 pages, which means those 2 pages need to open flat like this. It can't be like front and back. So there's just like a lot to think about in both ways. You have to ideally guide the reader's eye through the speech bubbles, and you need to make sure that like they are easy to read in the correct order and on a page that looks different than on scroll format. It's a lot.
And it can be hard, like either a creator moving from the traditional page format to mobile and vice versa, but also if you have a lot of speech bubbles in your vertical scroll, squeezing those in and still having them be readable would be really hard.
Yeah, I know one of the benefits of scroll is that you can put the word balloons in the gutters in the white space, which is, I love that. But it makes the transition from scroll to page is quite difficult.
Yeah. The one thing that a little bit saves it is because of the proportions of how you're reading it. Like if you're doing scroll format, you're considering the size of a phone screen. If you're considering a size of a phone screen, the relative size of like the art to how big the font needs to be is different because you ideally want the font to kind of look the same, between the size that you see it on a phone and how you read it on a book, but the proportions of it is a little bit different. So in a book, like you can have the speech bubbles be relatively smaller, is my point.
Yeah. So how did you guys just send like your working files to the publisher and have them handle like, do you primarily work in like Photoshop, Clip Studio?
Clip Studio.
Yeah, Clip Studio.
Okay. And so they had somebody there on the team that was like, yeah, I can work with Clip Studio file and just.
I think I sent them PSDs, no?
They usually publishers want PSDs because current publishers are kind of behind on that, which I just like. Clip Studio is definitely the better comic program. I don't know why we're still relying on Photoshop and Adobe Suite when Clip's made for it. So yes, but they usually.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Especially since like in Clip you can export it as a PSD and like other formats, which
Webtoon does require you to upload like PSDs. Anyways, I already had them.
Yeah, so it wasn't like a difficult thing. We just
sent them the files.
Yeah, because I mean the nice thing with Clip Studio is you have like your panel frames and you can easily change the shape of them and like rearrange the stuff inside of it. So if you were moving from mobile to a print page, like you have the option to be economical with it, where I feel like I don't know how they would do it with Photoshop files.
It doesn't make it's fine because like it opens up as a folder. So you don't usually need to edit like the panel shape. So like we didn't have to do that. Yeah, there wasn't much messing around with the panel.
Mm-hmm.
It's more just like fitting them together. And so it's just like a layer folder on Photoshop. I can't remember now if it does kind of like a clipping mask situation or like a mask situation. I think it does. I'm not entirely
It does in Clip Studio.
Yeah. So in Clip Studio it does, but I don't know if it opens like that in Photoshop.
It does not. I tried it. It doesn't work like that.
Flat it just fine.
Yeah, it's just it's a whole process too. And I've had creators who are just like, oh, like I kind of maybe I'll want to print this in the future, and I just don't know if I should adapt it for print first and then just rearrange the panels for mobile. So I'm just
it's also up to, I think, the visual creator, which just what fits with their style better, and they're like their preferences.
Because I know boyfriends. I know Ray from the beginning, planned it to be easily like rearrangeable for print.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, again, yeah, you're right. It does depend on the individual. I think at some point, like, if I ever get to the end of season 1 with my comic, I think it'd be fun just to like print it for whoever, like my friends or family, if they want one.
Yeah, for sure.
Or just like mainly for myself. You know what I mean? Like I had
to see that amount of work in like a print and like something you can tangibly hold in your hands.
Yeah. So it's one thing to have it like finished on like your phone and reading it, but just having the physical copy of it. Because I mean, I have several Webtoon books and a lot of manga, and it's just so special to have the print and just the tangibility and just it's so wonderful. So yeah, I need to get a copy of Blades of Furry.
It makes you realize like how much work you've done. I feel like just having it online, it's like you do the work and it like evaporates in the wind or something.
In like a minute.
A book, you're like, oh, I made this,
Right. Yeah, it's so interesting. Like even when I, print off my work, like I was at a con a few months ago and printing off all of like my illustrations and all of like the stickers and stuff that I did. It was like, oh my gosh, like it's an actual thing now. It's not just on my computer. It's like in my hand. So it definitely makes it more special for sure. So what are you guys most excited about with the first printed book and like the second one or however? Like, what are you most excited about?
I just really like the interaction I can get with fans with having a print version.
Mm-hmm.
Because we've done a few events, we did C2E2 where we had some copies early and that people bought and we got to sign for them right there. And then our signing event for the book launch. It's just really nice to connect with fans that way. That's like personally my favorite thing, is why I'm really excited about it. I really like interacting with people who like the story has impacted them in such a way that they want to get a physical copy. So that for me, that's really special because, being a lifelong fan of like manga and comics in general, like I'm like, oh, I don't know. It even though we've been publishing on Webtoon for so long now, like we've been considered like creators to authors for a couple years. To me, like for me, this is like in my brain registers is like I'm like a published author.
Yeah,
having like a print book of it.
Does it blow your mind that people are gonna be like seeing your book on shelves at bookstores and be like, oh, what's that?
When the first day it was out, we drove around to different bookstores to like see it and find it. And the local bookshop that we really like, we went to there first, and I walked in, I saw it, and I just started crying because I'm like, they were happy tears, but I was like,
yeah,
I need to like get tears so I can like go sign this and not get tears on the page. But yeah.
That's so wonderful. I feel like it's one thing to have it, published on Webtoon, but like having it be in an actual store as a product that people can like buy and enjoy. Yeah, I can imagine. It's, What about you, Deya?
I do really like also the interaction with the fans. I like to see this. I feel like the things that get to me the most is like people that have like kind of given us little gifts. Like we had somebody, it's literally hung up. We had somebody that drew like a meal with their persona, and like people come up and say how much it like means to them and things like that, and that's extremely special. Yeah, I do love seeing it in bookstores. I find it funny to have the gay furries.
Yeah.
Like just out there in the world. That's pretty cool. And to like see what it gets like put next to.
Yeah, I like that too. And also like, because I know where comic is pretty niche, and there aren't like a lot of furry comics out there besides like Beastars.
Yeah.
So it's really cool to like for ours to be like one of like the first of like kind of like a niche sort of like theme, I suppose. To be like, oh, there's ours, the animals right there, animals. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, I love that like you guys got to publish Blades of Furry on Webtoon because I feel like it's so refreshing to read a story that has more unique characters, more unique setting, and you know what I mean? And because like you look at a lot of the catalog on Webtoon, and then a lot of it is just like the imports and the romantasy and the overpowered main character, isekai. And so just being able to have something like Blades of Furry is just like I just love it. I love finding those unique reads that are just beautiful and like I got hooked like within the first few panels even of Blades of Furry. And just like, oh, the art style is just so pretty. Like, look at how unique the characters are, and I love Emil. Like, I totally relate to him in so many levels. Yeah,
I love him deeply so much.
he's so
We
precious.
put a lot of ourselves into our characters. Like each character, each of the main cast has like part of us in them.
Yeah.
So we love them deeply, and they're very like personal to us. So seeing this story and these character like people having their favorite characters is like really sweet, because whenever somebody comes up and like they know the story already, I ask like, oh, what's your favorite character, because we'll draw it usually besides Emil and Radu. And we get like a lot of Mimis, which is really nice because we're both non-binary, and Mimi's kind of like a combination of like what the sort of like struggles we've gone through with that. So it's like really like it warms my heart when it's like somebody like an NB comes up and I'm like, Mimi's my favorite, and I'm like, yes. They're like, I really resonate with them and everything.
I also felt really good whenever like gay men came up, because
Yeah.
the things that anybody, like any femme girl AFAB that writes anything with like MLM, not multi-level marketing, any of us that write that, is that, you know, you'll get the, oh my god, you're a fujoshi, you're a fetishizing gay man, blah 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 blah. And like I definitely never want to like actually be that. Not that I like I usually hate when people give that criticism, because I don't think
love it. Yeah, I don't think it's
I don't think that usually when people are pointing that finger, I don't think that they're right. But it's good to see like actual like gay men see these characters, and it feels like we did a good job of representing a group that is not exactly us.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
So I feel like I love that. I love when that happens. Like guys would come up with their husband.
We've made so good friends. Like one of our closest friends, who's also a skater, him and his boyfriend really love the story, and we're like really close with them, and it's really sweet. And they both read it, and they love the characters so much. That's been really heartwarming.
Yeah,
how the people relate to them and then like kind of adopt them into their lives. So it's nice.
It is.
That's so lovely. Like, especially just being able to connect to people through your story, and just like seeing that my story impacts people's lives and it can make their day or make them happy, or just something, a positive influence, is definitely really special. So before we wrap up today, I did have one last question for you both. What has been the most rewarding aspect of being Webtoon creators?
I think, like we said, for me, it's definitely the fan interactions and like the community of people. Because now, like, there's a fanmade server, and now we have like a Patreon exclusive server, and there's been some friends I've made, and also like fans who were like we talk with more often, who have come up to us and been like, you know, this story has helped me like come out as being like non-binary or being transgender, or being like queer in any way, shape, or form. Some people have come up and be like, I used to skate and your story made me want to skate again. Some people that's skating.
That's another one.
For
whenever people talk about skating. Yeah.
Because we both started figure skating after we started this because it's something we were really interested in. So we've made friends through skating, and then they like our comic too, which is like really cool. Learning kind of alongside the characters. But I really like when people like, and there was one comment I remember specifically, they left a hate comment, and then like a year later they came back and they apologized, and they're like, you know, I was going through my inner struggles and I've realized I'm a lesbian. So I just want to say thank you. Like, because there's sometimes where we'll get comments and like, if they're not like immediately like mean spirited, I try to like resonate with the person and be like, hey, like, I understand like you feel this way, but like, this is why what you said is hurtful. And they'll come back and like apologize and be like, I just, you know, I was dealing with my own internalized homophobia. And now I'm realizing I'm this. And that's been seeing it help people and make communities that's the ultimate reward. Like for me always is seeing how the story impacts people and for the better. That's my biggest positive about it.
Yeah, that's amazing.
The rewarding thing for me is getting to work with you.
Oh my god. Also, that is a big pro, is because this is our favorite thing we do. It's the favorite thing we've done. It's our baby. And getting to work with my wife is truly special, and I know it's not everybody gets to do that, so I really love the like married couple duo.
Yeah.
It's also played a big part, I think, in kind of like, because we put our own sort of like coming together in love in here, so it's kind of like this culmination of our disgusting love for each other, which I think is really special.
Yeah, that's so cute. Oh my gosh, you guys are adorable. Okay, thank you guys so much for coming on the podcast. I had a blast talking about Blades of Furry and just getting to know you both more, and I really appreciate it. So thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, of course. So where can people find you online?
So you can find Blades of Furry on Webtoon. You can find us on basically all social media. My @ is Emily Erdos Art.
I am Deya the Muniz, usually, except on Twitter, where I'm just Deya Muniz. We do have, I believe, our handles. They aren't in the comic on Webtoon. Can't remember if they're here somewhere.
They might be.
They may or may not be in the books. The book is available. You can order online in like any major retailer situation.
Bookstores.
They have it on Amazon. They have it on Target, Walmart, Barnes and Noble, Books A Million. All the kind of things. Your local Barnes and Noble probably has it, as like, unless it's really, really tiny.
And then we have a Patreon, Blades of Furry Patreon. That's where you find that.
That in the Patreon you can see the original animatic, like the storyboard for like what it originally was supposed to be. You can see some old concept art. We do, whenever we're uploading episodes, we usually post little like, sometimes I write little notes, funny notes for M, so I'll post that kind of stuff.
And we actually have a little online shop coming up soon, so keep your eyes posted for that.
Okay, exciting. What kind of stuff will you guys have in the online shop?
We're going to have prints, some little charms, and it's going to include Blades of Furry things, but not only that, it's like some of our other favorite media. And we'll also have some signed copies of Blades of Furry for people who can't get them signed for us in person.
Perfect. Okay, yeah. For our listeners, I will include all of your guys' links in our show notes, social media, where to get Blades of Furry, link to Blades of Furry, I will include as well. Okay, so if you found this podcast informative or entertaining, give us a like, give us a follow. You can find us on our socials at the Webtoon Wave. We're on TikTok, we're on Instagram, and you can watch full episodes on YouTube or Spotify. So stay creative, stay inspired, and we'll see you next time.